Hi, this is Simon from writtenlegalenglish.com and welcome to another video where I'm going to introduce another fantastic plain English language resource for you to go ahead and check. On Facebook this week I posted about the Centreforplainlanguageorg and the federal report card that they produced for last week. And rather than just saying go and have a look at this, I'm doing this video to go a little bit deeper to explain why this is such a fantastic language resource for you. So let's get started. So behind me you can see the page that I linked to in my Facebook post, and this goes into detail about the 2019 Federal Report Card. So let me walk you through the page. First of all, you've got the background and methodology and the explanation about how they test for plain language. And it's interesting the way that they do this. Clearly, there's lots of information on these websites, so they've got to have a methodology to choose the appropriate pages to test. And this page explains how they go through that process and why they test in the way that they test. And if you click on this image just over my shoulder, you'll be able to download the report card and see how well each agency did. What I really think is worth 5 minutes of your time is to click on the how we graded, and in doing this it goes through the criteria. Now this is a fantastic step-by-step resource for you to go through and think about in terms of your own writing. Go through exactly the same points. Understanding the audience needs, the style or voice, the structure and content, information design, navigation, pictures, graphs and charts, and overall. Lots of fantastic points in here to get you thinking about how you do your writing. If we go back, they've got some key findings here, which I'll go through in just a second. And then there are some fantastic examples, some recommendations of how to design a web page. So we've got the Department of Energy's How Do Wind Turbines Work, Veteran Affairs Suicide Prevention, and then one page that needs some work doing to it. And it's just great to go through the explanations why pages are good and why pages are bad. So let me just sum up that for you now. Okay, so if you don't have the time to go through the page in detail, these are the key take-home points I want you to take away. Firstly, as I said just a few seconds ago, have a look at the how we graded explanation. It's an excellent breakdown of the planning process that you yourself should be going through when you're doing your own writing, whether it's legal or business or general or whatever kind of writing you do. Now, the key findings. Compliance, success and failure. What do I mean by this? The report said that the agencies that were working hard to improve their plain language were improving their plain language, and the agencies that didn't do so well or made no obvious attempt to do so were getting worse and worse and worse, which goes to show that this is a writing skill that you need to learn, practice and develop. And as you get better, you get better. And if you don't learn those skills, then your writing stays in that same position or even gets worse. It's really interesting to know that the agencies are mandated by law to have plain language experts that work in these agencies and think about the message. And there is a discussion there, if I remember correctly, about the amount of people in these positions going down. The takeaway here is that there are these positions in the first place and that there are people who have the responsibilities to have a look at the language and make appropriate changes. And linking back to the first point, those who do the job well make the agency's writing better, and think about how that will communicate with your target audience. There is the general comment though that average writing is improving. So although you've got some agencies which are doing well and some agencies which are evidently doing not so well, the average level is improving, which suggests that the plain language message is getting across at every single level. It's just that if you accept that message and take it on board, then your writing dramatically improves much faster and getting much better results than if you just ignore the message and just stick with the old-fashioned legalese. The other takeaway points that I want you to take away, and these are concentrating on the web page that didn't do so well, is document design, is key. And you'll see, even in the commentary about the good websites, it talks about fantastic design. This was designed well. This was put in the right place. This was obvious. Whereas for the one that didn't do so well, it was this message was hidden. We didn't know what the page was trying to say. And that wasn't just so much about the words that were being used. It was about the way that the words were put on the page. What else was getting in the way? Part of that was the inability to speak directly to the audience. So the good web pages were saying you, speaking to you directly. So the reader felt direct, there was a direct connection between the text and the reader, which makes the reader feel at home. And I've done a video on that as well. Whereas the pages that are not doing so well don't talk to you, but they talk to third persons, or they don't talk to people at all, creating that abstract message that then the reader then has to work out what's going on. And then there was a big part about not losing focus. And this goes back to document design, because if you lose focus, if you don't know what your main message is, then you communicate all kinds of other messages. And in that analysis of the website that didn't do so well, there was the message, but it was buried halfway down the page. You had to get through a whole load of irrelevant text before you actually got to the main information. And when you got to the main information, hopefully some people did, because of course people might have just bounced off by there and started looking for the information in other places, then it's really difficult to identify that that is the main message of the website. And that, as I said, and I'll say it again, is not so much about the words, because you could argue, well, the words are in the text, it's up to the reader to find them. This is the wrong approach. Put your main message at the beginning, make the page about the main message, make it easy for the reader or the website viewer to see that, and then you're going to have a much more positive response from the reader. So at the beginning on the Facebook page, it was, here's the report card, have a look at this. But actually, when you look underneath the bonnet, then you see a lot more detail about what makes good writing good. And there is a lot to it. So take your time if you can, go back to that web page, have a look at the web page, not just that page, but the whole web page. It's full of resources, and I really recommend that you take some time, find out what that web page says, and develop your skills and learn from that page. Okay, that's it for me for now. Please remember to check out my website and the free Legal English web exercises that I've got on there. And if you want to find out more about how you can improve your legal or business or general English writing, then visit my website, the courses that I have there, and get in touch. Okay, I'll see you again soon.